This is Professor John Bordeau at Kankakee Community College, and we are in STEM guitar, and we are shaping the neck of the guitar. So as you can see, I'm kind of getting in close. You can see there's these CNC chatter marks on here. You can kind of really see them in there pretty good, right? So we want to get rid of those chatter marks, and we also want to shape it to the style of neck we want. Now, this CNC is kind of shaped to a C neck, but you could have a D or a V, whatever you like. So we're going to use what's called pattern or cabinet makers scrapers. Okay, so they are just a metal piece of a thin piece of metal, and they come in different shapes to get into different areas. So like in here, I'm going to kind of scrape in here type of thing, where on the outside here, you can see I could use this edge, or I could just use this edge, which is going to have a smaller amount when I'm using the straight edge. But if I go here, I can scrape. So I'm going to set this down here, and I am going to kind of give you an example how quick and easy this is to do this. So I'm going to get you out here like such, and I'm going to take this cabinet scraper, and I'm just going to start, and I run it lengthwise, and I just start scraping. Now, if it's close to the shape that you want, this scraping is going to get you pretty smooth to start with. We're going to sand after it. Now, if you're a drastically different shape that you want to take a lot of material off, you can go over to the belt sander and you can put the belt sander to it if you want. Also, what's nice is if there's any glue from the fretboard, you can put this on the edge and scrape any of that glue off from when you glue the fretboard onto the neck. And so I am just scraping and scraping and scraping, and you have to pay attention to these transitions to the headstock. Get into each one of those corners, and it's best to scrape. Saves you a lot of time on sanding, right? You can see here, it's pulling off these long strips as I go on one of the sharper edges of the scraper here. And I'm actually getting it nice and smooth, and I'm going to try to get into those corners a little bit and scrape those out. And you know, guitar players want a super smooth back, and this isn't smooth yet, but we haven't sanded yet. So, but this is shaping us to where we want. We're going with the grain by doing it this way. And it's actually going to make life easier for us when we want to sand. Now, when we go to sand, I do the shoe shine method first. I get a strip of 100 grit sandpaper, and I just kind of go like this. I go back and forth, and I shoe shine it. I do that all the way across. It is going across grain, so I'm just trying to shape it with that. Get the shape so it feels good. And then once I have the shape done, I will take a small piece of sandpaper and I run it lengthwise for my final. And I do 100 first, and I move up to 150, and I move up to 200. And I even go up to 320 to get it nice and smooth on your back of your neck. So that's the process of shaping your guitar neck. But you want to get all the machine chatter marks out of the CNC, and a cabinet makers or scraper is the way to go. You can find these all over the place. And Stu Mac will have them, etc. And they are great. And people think they got to sand. This is what you should use before you sand. and get into all the places, especially in the four corners here, and then sandblast. So this is guitar shaping